Hey everybody, happy Front Row Friday and happy New Year. It's Marilyn Sherman. It's the end of the first week of the new year. How are you doing? I want to give you a message of hope and inspiration to keep you going, even though maybe some of you have reneged on your New Year's resolution, and that's okay. Just like I talked about last week, I encourage you not to have a New Year's resolution, but to actually have a bucket list. But just in case you're feeling in a rut, or you're feeling kind of down, or you're feeling kind of blah, today's message is about hope and inspiration and having restored faith in humanity. I just spoke to a group of CEOs in the world of hospice, and boy, what a job that they have in their world. But I shared with them in my keynote 2 new stories that they loved, and I want to share with them to you today. And the first one is a young woman. Her name is Diamond Campbell, and she's a power lifter. And she was in a state competition last year. And I don't know much about this sport, but apparently you get 3 lifts and then they take the best one. I'm not sure if they average them or take the best one. Like I said, I don't know the sport very well. I do know that the judges, they have lights. And if there are green lights, that means it was a legal lift. And then they go on to the next competitor. Well, she did her first lift and she thought she did great, but she saw 3 red lights, which meant that her lift did not count. So she was quickly informed that her lift didn't count because she had beads in her hair. In fact, let me show you a picture of Diamond Campbell. This is her. This is her doing her first lift. And you see she's got beads in her hair, which apparently are illegal in this sport. So what's cool about it, I mean, that's a horrible rule, which they have since changed, by the way. But what was cool about it is that the coach immediately came over and started taking the beads out of her hair, and all of her teammates came over. But more importantly, her competitors came over and stepped up and helped her, because they knew that if she didn't get those beads out of her hair in time, she would be disqualified from the match. So check this out. This is a picture of not only her teammates, but all of her competitors. They're all jumping in to help her take the beads out of her hair so that she can continue to compete within the rules of the sport. I love that story because what they showed compassion and kindness, and they stopped competing and just became a collaborative effort to help her. And she went on to win 4th place in the state tournament. So good for you, Diamond, and good for you for changing that law about wearing beads in their hair. The second one is a story that I'm sure you've heard. And it's a story of Demar Hamlin, who on Monday Night Football had a horrific accident where the NFL stopped the game. The teams came together and prayed, and he was whisked off to the in an ambulance to the hospital. But that's not why I'm telling you the story about Demar. Is what you may not know is that he has a charity, and he has a fundraiser to raise money to help children who can't afford toys. And what restored my faith in humanity is the outpouring of love and prayer and support to Demar, his family, his teammates, and to his foundation. So if you can imagine, his foundation, the goal was only $2,500 before Monday Night Football. And as a result of the outpouring of love and compassion from people around the world, in fact, 223,000 people have donated to his charity. So you can imagine he did surpass the $1,200 goal. And as of this date, he has raised over $7 million. Can you imagine? I love this. This is a story of compassion. It's a story of people who, if you were watching the game, it was as if the world took a collective deep breath to make sure he was okay. And people didn't know what to do. And one thing that they did is they stepped up and went to his charity and they donated. And all I keep thinking is, can you imagine all the children that are going to benefit as a result of the generosity and the compassion of the people around the world who are supporting Demar in not only in his recovery, but in his charity? I love that. So here's my suggestion to you on this Front Row Friday. If you're starting to feel down and out, or you're starting to feel in a rut, or you're feeling a little disappointed or discouraged, why not get out of your own way and maybe be a light for someone else today? And maybe you're not in a position to donate to a charity, but at least here's one thing you can do: surf the internet of inspiring stories that will restore your faith in humanity, because it's out there. And we've seen it before, and we'll see it again. When we are faced with adversity, there are people that step up to the plate and they show good deeds. I love that. And I hope we see more of that. So happy Front Row Friday, everybody. And thank you so much for tuning in. Let's make 2023 the best year we've ever had, and go out there and shine your light to illuminate the path for others to their front row. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.